Well, good morning, folks. At least it's good morning here in Canada. It's around 8 o'clock in the morning, and I just posted a video about the big Canon event that's coming out in just a little bit. And I said in that video that I'm not 100% sure as to which camera we're getting based on some of the conflicting information I've been getting. I still think that the Canon EOS R5 Mark II is the biggest candidate for this event, but I just want to throw out some caution. But while this video was posting, Canon Rumors tweeted out this message. May the 15th is the day, give or take based on time zone. So May the 15th is the day that we'll get the big Canon announcement, and I really do hope it is the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. We've seen an awful lot of, well, rumors and leaked information, supposed leaked information, pointing to the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. But behind the scenes, we've seen an awful lot of contradictory information as well. And that's what has me, well, a little bit cautious. But let's get back to that date, because that's the focus of this video. If you want to hear about my reservations for the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, go ahead and take a look at my video I posted just a couple of hours ago. So when Canon Rumors posted the May the 15th date, but said give or take based on time zone, that's because it could actually be on May the 14th. Now I'm giving it to you from the perspective of Eastern time zone, which is Toronto, New York, Miami, Florida. So what usually happens if it's a May the 15th date, what we can quite often see is that on May the 14th, right around midnight, is when we get the announcement as it ticks over into May the 15th, because it's usually Canon Japan or Canon Australia doing the announcement. However, it could also be May the 15th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's why we see Canon Rumors saying based on the time zone. So what this indicates is it's probably going to happen either May the 14th or May the 15th. And I'm looking forward to this announcement. Hopefully it is 10 a.m. on Wednesday. I'm going to be doing a live stream. I'm not going to schedule a live stream just yet because we don't have the exact date and time. And that would be a little bit embarrassing, wouldn't it? So here we are. According to Canon Rumors, now there's no CR3, no CR2, no CR nothing. And they haven't even bothered to put anything up on CR.com or CanonRumors.com. So I don't know how credible this information is. I don't know if it's from some sort of wild rumor like a CR0 or CR1. I don't know if it's considered fact like a CR3. But we have a date. And this matches up with what Canon Rumors was saying before. A previous post, they had said that it was going to happen between May the 21st and 23rd. And then another tweet came out just about a week later saying, hey, I misread the calendar. It's actually a week sooner than that. So that would put it into the May the 14th to May the 16th. And now we have a pseudo-quasi May the 15th. So it's either May the 14th as it clocks over at midnight into the 15th, or it could be May the 15th, 10 a.m. It could also be 1 p.m. as well, Eastern Standard Time. But 10 a.m. is the most common time for doing this. And since the last announcement for the 200 to 800 millimeter, this guy right here, since that announcement happened at, well, midnight, Eastern Standard Time, I'm willing to believe that Canon USA is going to run with this one. They probably won't give it to Canon Canada. I have never seen Canon Canada take a launch event, but Canon USA, I really expect them to run with this. And so we're just less than 2 weeks away for this big announcement. And I've heard so many things. I've heard people, some pretty credible rumors say that we're going to get multiple cameras. We've got 5 cameras registered, 3 digital stills cameras, 12 69-22, 12 69-28, and recently 12 69-04. And then, of course, we've got 2, I was going to say digital stills cameras. We also have 2 cinema cameras, ID 0179 and ID 0174. And yes, I do have all this stuff memorized. With my memory, it's surprising. But one of the things I try to do is not give you guys a whole bunch of wild rumors. I really do my best to source things out, suss things out, and I am very appreciative of everybody that brings information to me. Sometimes people are getting it directly from the source, sometimes not. But as I hear it from other bits and pieces as they come together, it starts to formulate a picture of which I can bring to you. Or I'm reporting what Canon Rumors is saying. So it's pretty exciting. But what I want to do now for the rest of this video, we're going to do something different. I'm going to go take a look at some of your comments, and I'm going to comment them. I'm going to respond to them here live instead of typing them out. So let's go ahead and see, because the video's been out for 7 minutes already. So we should have a few comments already. And let's take a look and see what we got. I bet we got a few early ones here. This is Canon's big surprise. Let's take a look here. Going to the dashboard. We've got 94 views, 0 comments. Nobody's commenting right now. You're probably digesting the information. Okay, so if you came here for all the facts and the details about the May the 15th, and that's all you cared about, feel free to leave. But if you want to stick around, I've got a few minutes here, and I'm actually heading into the city today. I got to pick up a part, and I'm going to visit a camera retailer, not my traditional one, and I'm going to look around for any strange boxes or any signs of anything. And if I find anything, you can be guaranteed that early Sunday morning, I'm going to have a video. But May the 15th. The long wait is over. What really surprises me about this particular event coming up is May the 15th. Today's May the 3rd, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. May the 4th be with you. There you go. Star Wars joke. Maybe I got that in before the comments. That's 11 days away. That's a week and a half away. I've never seen any supposed big announcement that was coming up where at this point we didn't know the exact camera detail specifications and even leaked images, with pricing to usually follow within a week of that. And it really has me surprised. I've never seen the level of secrecy around the world. Some places don't even get any information whatsoever. I'm not seeing any hints of anything at Canadian retail in any way whatsoever. And certain parts of Europe, retailers aren't getting anything either. It seems like, and what I suspect is going to happen, Canon's going to make this big announcement, and then the pre-orders will start, and then shipping will probably happen at least 2 to 4 weeks out. So giving retailers enough time to get up to speed and all the training, because some dealers are getting, according to Canon rumors, they're getting training and presentations on the Canon EOS R1 and the Canon EOS R5. But many others aren't. So that's probably one of the reasons for the secrecy. And I wouldn't be surprised if Canon is playing some hardball here, and they're saying, look, we don't care how or why. If any of your organizations, if we trace any leaks back to you, you're cut off. You're done as a Canon authorized retailer. It is really, really strange here. And I was actually reached out to Canon Rumors just a few days ago, and he's puzzled too. He's never seen anything like this, and he's been doing this for something like 15 years. He's never seen this level of secrecy. Because quite often if you reached out to somebody like, one of your sources, and you could ask them something, or even somebody you worked with, you could ask a question such as, hey, anything going on? And they would say, nope, nothing's going on, because nothing was going on. Or they would say, I'm sorry, I can't comment one way or the other. And that was usually indication that something's going on. They've signed some sort of NDA. But now you're getting absolute silence. You ask that question and it's like, I hope you're having a good day. Or they just completely ignore the question, or they don't respond to your email or your text or something. This is really, really strange. And that's why with all the amount of information that's come to me in the last couple of weeks from so many news sources, this is really strange. It's like some are really doing their best to try and get some information out, but you don't know if that information is being controlled, either by that person or the person providing it to them. So that's why I find it really surprising. Okay, let's see. Do we have any comments now? Refresh. Come on. Hurry up. One comment. Maybe it's first. Let's see what this first comment is. Yep, first. Michael goes first with a smiley mark. Okay, well, this isn't going exactly the way I intended it to. So we've got 155 views in 11 minutes, which is trending nicely for a Saturday morning. But so far, nobody is coming in with their comments, because I know there's going to be some explosive comments. There's going to be a couple of WTFs. There's going to be a couple of, what are you talking about, Simon? And all I want you to do is take a look at everything that's been published in the last, let's say, 6 months or so. Go back and take a look at Canon Rumors, the Camera Insider, what I put out here, and just take a look and see what things say. See how many CR3s there are, CR1s, the language, how things change. And one thing you're going to see with the specifications is the specifications continuously change from 61 megapixels on November the 22nd or 25th, 2022, to 62 megapixels, to 45 megapixels. And we've stayed at 45 megapixels for a while. And I had a pretty credible source come in and say, yeah, 45 megapixels, backside illuminated, whole new sensor, full frame sensor. It's going to be backside illuminated, because any stacked sensor put in a camera is also going to be backside illuminated. But other specifications, well, 8K RAW. Well, of course it's going to be 8K RAW. Why? Well, because it currently has 8K RAW in the Mark I. But is it going to be 50 and 60 frames per second? Well, I think yes, because the Nikon Z8 has that. And I think at this point, the best way to get an understanding of what you could expect to see in the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, whether it happens at this event on May the 15th or not, is look at the Nikon Z8. It's going to probably do whatever the Nikon Z8 does in addition to what the R5 Mark II can do. So R5 Mark II, let's try that again. R5 Mark I. That's your base for what you could expect to see in the Mark II. Then take a look at the Z8 and the delta between those two, add that to the Mark I. And then maybe just say, okay, which of these features could get a slight boost because the Z8 is several years old? And that's your best way to get an idea of what could be in the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. And so for that reason, I do think that the R5 Mark II is going to punch above 4K 120 frames per second, maybe 150, maybe 180, maybe there'll be some caveats, but I think that's definitely going to happen. 8K 50 and 60 frames per second, 100 and 120 could happen if the R1 is really designed as a sports fast action shooter doing around 30 megapixels. It gives it the room to do that, or the R5C could do that. And of course, having a stacked full frame sensor means we're going to have better low light performance, a greater ISO range. And that's a definite plus as well. The dynamic range is probably going to improve by about a stop. I don't think we're going to see anything crazy like 17 plus stops, 20 stops of dynamic range. I just don't see that happening in the R5. But what else could we see? Well, I know many of you just don't want to see that mini or that micro HDMI port. At the very least, I hope we at least get a mini. I'll have to get some new cables, but I'll be happy to get some new cables. But this is the photographer's cameras first and foremost. Although we're hearing noise from Canon, they're coming out with a whole set of lenses that are focused on video shooters with that Z designation. So I expect to see an improvement in the video capabilities. That overheating, I think, is going to be long gone. But we're still going to see a very, very sharp camera. I mean, just think of this. We're going to get a stacked sensor in the R5. As good as it is, that stacked sensor greatly reduces any sort of remaining rolling shutter. It improves low light performance, dynamic range, and you get that image signal processing done on chip. You get extra DRAM on chip. It gives you a few more capabilities. But I wonder if they're going to do something else with the sensor, because remember, Canon doesn't buy their sensors from Sony. They manufacture, design, engineer their own sensors in-house. So they could do something else to this chip. Will we get quad pixel autofocus? Well, that's possible. We've seen patent applications on that, but a definite improvement to the overall autofocus system. All right, let's take a look and see if we have any other comments, and then I'll go ahead and sign off if we don't. All right, here we go. We now have 4 comments, so this should get interesting. Michael says, this might mean that there are going to be 2 different RF versions. Some say 45 megapixels and some say 61 megapixels or 62. It might be the R5 Mark II with a 45 megapixel sensor, or the R5S with a 61 megapixel or something else. Who knows? And you're not alone in that thought, Michael. I think that makes an awful lot of sense to see 2 potential, or let's say variants of the R5. And what are our options? Well, we have that high megapixel, camera that we've heard about since 2019, 2018. I think Canon rumors called it the Canon RS, based off the 5D RS SR, which is 50 megapixels. So that's a possibility. We could also see a refresh of the R5C in the R5C Mark II, a cinema camera, and we do have 2 cinema cameras registered. So that's very plausible. I like where you're coming from, Michael. All right, let's see what Roland says. Think Canon had enough leaks and clearly have stopped the majority. I would agree. So when they release it, it is a surprise to us all, whereas previously we knew all the specs release. Agree, possibly disinformation. And if it is a disinformation campaign, which is one of the things I proposed in that video, I don't believe it's done to jerk us around. In a way, it makes things very exciting because still at this point, we don't know what's coming. And in a way, that's an awful lot of fun. Yes, I'd like to have the information slowly leaked out, but to keep it as a surprise for us for so long, I think is really exciting. And at this point, I'm still questioning things, as are you. So I think that's very plausible, Roland. I just hope that we get the exact date pretty soon. At least get that leaked out. slip 1 minute ago, R5S with a 19 megapixel global sensor. Yes, so Canon did release a 19 megapixel global sensor, but you know what? If we're going to get something at that resolution, honestly, I think it's going to be something like an R3 Mark II, or it's more logical to go in the Canon EOS R1. To take the just imagine for a moment all the comments we're going to get, all the press, if Canon takes the R5 and drops it all the way down to 19 megapixels. So that R5S down to 19 megapixels. Now, granted, they released the R5 Mark II, and I think what you're suggesting is in addition, but 19 megapixels? And people start scratching their heads. Well, wait a minute. Well, what's the point of the R3? What's the point of the R1? But still, I like where you're going, and that's why all this lack of information or disinformation really kind of changes things. And of course, John Clay never misses a beat here, saying thank you for the information and thank you for that. Okay, so here we go. We got somebody who's not happy with this video. Seriously, what's the point of this video? Same rant in every video. Too many waste of time videos. Well, so this is obviously one of those people who didn't even bother to watch the video, because I've never said this in any video before, that we don't know what camera is going to be announced at this big event, and we've got many contradicting information. And I come across this quite a bit. You get people who won't even bother to read or watch the video, and they'll just throw out a comment, and that's the typical type, because it doesn't address anything that was said in the video, and it doesn't even match the content. And we don't have any more comments, so what I'm going to do at this point is tell you a few things about deals of the week, because if you haven't been watching this channel on a regular basis, you really want to take a look at some of the deals. I'm going to give you the big ones right now, but Canon has slashed prices, and slashed is not an overstatement. I'm British, so I like to understate things a lot. The Canon EOS R5 Mark I, I was going to say Mark II, is $28.99, $500 off an already significantly reduced price. That's a really big deal. That's at Adorama, B&H, Amazon in the United States, but we're seeing prices throughout the rest of the world. Not every country like Germany, but we're seeing major price discounts. And in the cinema version, well, it's also selling at its lowest price ever, $35.99. And the Canon EOS R6 Mark II, it was released not too long ago, just a year and a half ago. It's also slashed $500 off at $19.99. Remember that price? That was the price of the Sony a7 III when it was released. Wow, is Canon sending a message here? They're certainly riling up the marketplace. And of course, take a look at the Canon EOS R8, $300 off its lowest price ever at $11.99. But we're seeing discounts on the R5, I believe $549. So not the R5, the R50, $549. The R7, the R10, they're also on sale. And you're going to see a huge amount of sales on lenses as well. Not big deals unless that's updated this morning, but we're seeing $200, $300 off. If you're buying Canon stuff, if you're looking at buying Canon stuff, there's incredible deals on right now. All I ask is you please consider using my affiliate links in the description down below. And the reason for that is I get a small commission back, anywhere from 2 to 12%. And the great thing is you don't have to fill out anything. You don't have to put in any codes. You don't go to a separate website. You just go to B&H and Amazon, and you get to purchase something you really like. And as a gift to me, without costing you anything at all, Adorama or B&H give me a little commission, which goes back to supporting this channel. And I greatly appreciate it. I am buying the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, whether it's announced on the 15th or something else. I am looking forward to getting a second camera, and I really do love the R5. I think it's a terrific camera. But a big thanks to you and everybody who's watching at home, especially for those of you that have used my affiliate links in the last couple of days. A few people have taken advantage of the R6 Mark II at $19.99. I'm not surprised. That's for that camera at that price. There's nothing else out there that competes with it at that price. At $24.99, yes, there's a lot of competitors in that price point, but you know, that's a big deal. And if you were holding up buying Canon because of the lack of third-party lenses, well, Sigma and Tamron just announced 7 lenses, APS-C lenses for, well, to be delivered by, well, Q4. And don't be surprised if we start to see full-frame lenses starting late this year or into next year. But the floodgates have opened up. Things are changing. We have a big announcement coming up on May the 15th. So thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you again soon.